Good morning, friends. Happy pajama day. As you can see, I have my trusty robe on so that I can stay comfy cozy on this pajama day. I hope you guys are too. We're going to get started today with with a read aloud that's a little bit different today. But before we get started, I just want to show you how to get there just in case we forgot because, it was a long break and we're still getting back into the swing of things. So we are going to go to our distance learning folder. We're going to go to first grade. We're going to go to read aloud because this is read aloud. And we're going to go to this week. I don't know why they're not in order, but this week is April 27th to May 1st. Friday is the first day of May. And then today, let's see. You need to go like this. Here we go. And today is Tuesday, April 28th. And then you will get the reading as well as the questions that you need to answer. Today, there's not going to be a separate exit ticket. So what you're going to upload to Seesaw is this entire document right here. So there are 4 questions on this sheet. The last one is a little bit longer, but you're going to submit both of these pages, so all 4 questions on Seesaw today. So there's no separate exit ticket. You're going to submit both sheets on Seesaw, just like it says right up here. All right. So now that we've done that, let's go to what we're going to read today. So I'm going to scroll through this, and you think about what this piece of writing looks like. I'm going to scroll through it for a minute and just think about what kind of writing you think it is. Go ahead. All right, so after scrolling through that piece of writing for a little bit, you might have noticed that this is a poem. We're going to be reading a poem today. And before we even start reading the poem, we're going to answer the first question. How many stanzas are in this poem? So remember, stanzas are how poems are broken up, like how a story is broken up into paragraphs. Uh, or no, how an article or a story is broken up into paragraphs and a poem is broken up into stanzas. So right here is a stanza because there's a break in the middle right here. You can see that um, this section is different from this section. So we're going to count how many stanzas there are. So I'm going to scroll through it again and you'll count how many stanzas there are. Go ahead. All right. So when we're looking at this poem, we're going to look at each section of writing to figure out how many stanzas there are. So I see 1 here, so that's 1. Let's see if I can use this. Let's see. 1. Oh, look at that. I am learning new things, friends. Oh, just kidding. I'm not. Oh, here we go. And then, oh my goodness, we've got, don't worry, friends, I got it. And then we've got stanza number 2 over here. This is the second section, so that is a separate section. It's a separate stanza, and then this is the third section. It is separate, even though it goes on to a different page. I made sure that it was actually separated so that you could see it. So this poem has 3 stanzas. Look at that. And I learned a new trick. So we're all learning things today. So now that we have figured out the stanzas, we're going to read it. And as I read it, think about what kind of rhyming pattern you here because we know that some poems rhyme, some poems don't. So first we're going to see even if this poem rhymes, and then if it does rhyme, what the rhyming pattern is. So this poem is called When Grandma Comes by Eileen Spinelli. When Grandma comes, she likes to bring a little bit of everything: a puppy toy, some yellow thread, a tasty square of gingerbread, thick homemade soup, a knitted hat, a can of tuna for the cat, a couple pairs of woolen socks, chocolate cherries in a box, a picture book, a string of beads, a bag of crunchy pumpkin seeds. So that was stanza one. And when I listen to myself read that, I can tell that there are some lines that definitely rhyme. So let's see about stanza two. When Grandma comes, she likes to sing and push me on the backyard swing and rock me in the rocking chair and read to me and brush my hair. She likes to dance me round the floor and walk me to the candy store and feed me soup by candlelight and tuck me into bed at night. So stanza two, and it's still rhyming. When Grandma comes, my parents grin. The puppy barks, I laugh and spin. The cat meows, the whole house hums on Saturday when Grandma comes. So after we've read this whole poem, we can definitely tell that it does rhyme. Now, let's go over how we figure out what the rhyming pattern is. So, the first line we're always going to label with A because it's the first line and A is the first letter of the alphabet. So when Grandma comes, she likes to bring, and we're only focused on that last word right there. Because when we're looking at a poem, we are looking for rhyming patterns. Um, it's the last word of the line that needs to rhyme. So we've got the last word of this line is bring. So I'm going to put an A here. And if you have your poem printed out as well, you can make these notes as well to help you out. But if not, you can just follow along. So we've got bring is A. A is the first letter. Bring is the last letter of, or nope, the last word of the first line. A little bit of everything. All right, everything, bring. Everything, bring. The last syllable of everything, so thing and bring, definitely rhyme. So I'm going to put another A here because it's the same ending sound. Ing. All right, a puppy toy, some yellow thread, a tasty square of gingerbread. Okay, so thread. Does thread rhyme with thing? No, thread does not rhyme with thing. So now we need a different letter, and we're just going to go through the alphabet. So this is going to be B. All right, so that line is B. And then the last word for this line is gingerbread. So gingerbread thread. Gingerbread thread. If we look at the last syllable for gingerbread, got bread and thread. Those definitely rhyme. They have the same ending sound. So this is also going to be labeled as B. So far our rhyming pattern is A, A, B, B. Let's see if what we're going to label the next one as. A thick homemade soup, a knitted hat. So this one, hat, bread, thing. This is a new sound, so we need a new letter. And with a new letter comes a new color. So we've got C here. All right, thick homemade soup, a knitted hat, a can of tuna for the cat. All right, cat, hat, cat, hat. We know that rhymes. So we're going to put another C here. Now I'm looking at this pattern right here. I see AA, BB, CC. Now I'm going to predict that the next one is D and that there are going to be two Ds, but we got to read to find out. A couple pairs of woolen socks. So we know that socks does not rhyme with cat or hat or bread or thread or thing or bring. So that's going to have to be a new letter. And we haven't used, what color haven't we used yet? Orange. A couple pairs of woolen socks, chocolate cherries in a box. Socks box. Those rhyme. But wait, they're not spelled the same. Does that matter? No. If it's the same sound, then that means it rhymes. It does not matter if it is spelled the same. So far we've got A, B, B, C, C, D, D. Now I'm thinking that the next one might be E, E. But we gotta see. A picture book, a string of beads, bag of crunchy pumpkin seeds. So beads, let's think beads. Does beads rhyme with box? No. Does beads rhyme with cat? No. Does beads rhyme with bread? No. Does beads rhyme with thing? No. So that's going to be a new letter. Let's see. Get this bright blue over here. So A, B, C, D, E. We got E here. And then we've got a crunchy bag of pumpkin seeds. Seeds, beads. It's the same sound, even though it's not spelled the same way. All right, so we're only going to do the first stanza because that took a while. But it follows the same rhyming pattern throughout the entire poem. And when we go to the next stanza, we would start over with A. So we've got A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E. That's the rhyming pattern. So when it says, what is the rhyming pattern of this poem? You're going to write down A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E. Do that now. All right. And now this, you don't have to write this down, but when you have a poem that always has lines in pairs, so we've got two A's, two B's, two C's, two D's, two E's, these lines are called couplets because they're coupled, they're two. So we've got A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E. We have 5 couplets in this first stanza. All right. So I'm going to read the poem again because we just spent a lot of time looking at the lines. We might have forgotten what the poem is about. So I'm going to read it again so that we can answer the next question. So the title of the poem is When Grandma Comes. When Grandma comes, she likes to bring a little bit of everything. A puppy toy, some yellow thread, a tasty square of gingerbread. Thick homemade soup, a knitted hat, a can of tuna for the cat, a couple pairs of woolen socks, chocolate cherries in a box, a picture book, a string of beads, a bag of crunchy pumpkin seeds. When Grandma comes, she likes to sing and push me on the backyard swing, and rock me in the rocking chair, and read to me and brush my hair. She likes to dance me round the floor and walk me to the candy store, and feed me soup by candlelight and tuck me into bed at night. When Grandma comes, my parents grin, the puppy barks, I laugh and spin. The cat meows, the whole house hums on Saturday when Grandma comes. So, in order to figure out what a poem is about, you have to read the entire thing. And we just did that twice. So now you're going to think about what was this poem about? Um, take about a minute to do that now, and you're going to write the poem is about, and then write what you think the poem is about. Go ahead. All right. So the title of this poem actually tells us a lot about what this poem is about. It's called When Grandma Comes. And the first stanza tells us all of the things that Grandma brings when she comes to the author's home. And we know that the author or the narrator of this poem um, is the grandchild of this grandma. So it's very exciting when the grandma comes over. So because she brings all these things. And then in the second stanza, it tells us what grandma and her grandchild do um, when grandma comes over. So the first stanza is what grandma brings. The second stanza is what grandma does with the grandchild. Um, and the third stanza is still talking about when grandma comes, but it talks more about how the other family members feel. So we've got my parents grin, the puppy barks, I laugh and spin. So you laugh and spin when you're happy. The cat meows, the whole house hums. It's kind of like there's a good energy in the house when the whole house hums. And then it's Saturday when grandma comes, and Saturdays are always happy days. So this poem is about what happens when grandma comes. That is what the entire poem is about. So now we can move on to that last question. I'm going to start you off with the answer to this question, and then because this is a little bit of a longer question, and then you guys will do it independently or finish it independently, and then you can post it on Seesaw so that your teachers can see it. So the next question is, how does the author feel about grandma's visits? And how do you know? And in order to prove that we know how the author feels when grandma comes, we need to use specific words or phrases that we can find in the poem to prove how the author is feeling. So the first thing we need to find out is how the author is feeling. We should look at the general mood of the poem. So I'm actually going to read it a third time so we can really make sure that we know. When grandma comes. When grandma comes, she likes to bring a little bit of everything: a puppy toy, some yellow thread, a tasty square of gingerbread, thick homemade soup, a knitted hat, a can of tuna for the cat, a couple pairs of woolen socks, chocolate cherries in a box, a picture book, a string of beads, a bag of crunchy pumpkin seeds. When grandma comes, she likes to sing and push me on the backyard swing and rock me in the rocking chair and read to me and brush my hair. She likes to dance me round the floor and walk me to the candy store and feed me soup by candlelight and tuck me into bed at night. When grandma comes, my parents grin, the puppy barks, I laugh and spin. The cat meows, the whole house hums on Saturday when grandma comes. So after reading this poem, I can tell that this is a generally happy poem. The author is happy when grandma comes to the house, or the narrator is happy when grandma comes to the house. She likes to bring a little bit of everything. A puppy toy, that's a kind thing to bring. A tasty square of gingerbread. We know that the narrator likes gingerbread because they say it's tasty. We've got a knitted hat and woolen socks. Those are comfy, cozy things that you might actually be feel like wearing today to be comfy and cozy. Um, when grandma comes, she likes to sing. Most people sing when they're happy or excited. I know that when we were in school, I would hear singing all the time, especially during snack time. Push me on the backyard swing. Swings are always fun. Um, she likes to dance me round the floor. So that shows that they're both very happy that grandma is there and that they're spending time together. They walk to the candy store. Grandma feeds the child soup, and they get tucked into bed. And then this third stanza right here shows us how everybody's feeling about grandma coming. The parents grin, the puppy barks, the child laughs and spins, the cat meows, and the whole house hums. It's got that good energy in it. So we know that the author feels excited about the grandma being there. or not the author, the narrator of the poem is excited about grandma being there. And we know that because of all of these fun things that the grandma brings, the fun things that grandma does with her grandchild, and how the rest of the family feels when grandma comes. So I would start off the answer to this question saying that the author feels excited or positive or happy about the grandmother's visits. And one example that shows that this is true is that they use the word tasty to describe gingerbread because when you use the word tasty, you know that they like gingerbread. So that's just one example. You need to find two or three more so that you can complete the answer to the fourth question. Once you do that, you're going to take a picture of both sheets of paper, and then you're going to take a picture of them and then upload them to Seesaw. All right, my friends, let your teachers know if you have any questions, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.